Ron Goodall, FightHype.com. I'm here joined with Bruce Carrington, who makes his ring return at Madison Square Garden July 26th against Matias Hata for the WBC interim world featherweight title. It's about time, right? I think at
Yeah,
this
yeah.
moment, like it's long overdue. How excited for you for this opportunity in New York?
I'm super excited. It's always a great time to fight in New York. It's New York City all the way. You know what I mean? But aside from that, I feel like this opportunity is one of the things that I've been craving. You know what I mean? It's just a step closer to a world title. I wish that, the world title shot was now, but it is what it is. Like at the same time, everything's on God's timing, and I'm just gonna, be patient and just work my way through, work my way up. I've learned through my experiences in the pro game that sometimes like certain things just happen for a reason. And I get to learn something new every single step of the way that I take. And I'm just super excited for this opportunity.
I know we spoke a lot. There's a lot of interviews out there that kind of explaining, your opponent Matias Hata. It's not Nick Ball, it's not Espinoza, it's not Stephen
Mhm.
Fulton. But if you can give the fans maybe like a 1 minute Cliff Note version of like why Matias Hata opposed to all the champions that you originally called out after your last fight.
First and foremost, I want to give a big thanks to Matias Hata for taking his fight. And that's just gonna get me to talk more about, the number of guys that, declined to fight me. We've talked to all of the champions. We've talked to all of the top contenders. None of these guys want to fight me, man. And I genuinely believe it's because like I'm a high risk and low reward. When it comes to the champions, they want to unify or they want to continue to make a certain amount of money uh without a certain type of risk, right? And then when it comes to the top contenders, they're basically in the same boat as me in a way in terms of like their next fight could be the next fight or two could be a championship fight and they want their route to be an easier one. They wouldn't want to have to go through me to fight for a world title. So that's what all of these no's were coming from. Like, our matchmaker Brad Goodman, he was reaching out to everybody. I've showed interest in fighting Carlo Castro, Brandon Figueroa, Ray Vargas, all these different guys, and it was just one excuse after another. So I just had to just go down a line, and Matias Hata was the guy to just say, yeah, he jumped at the opportunity, and I'm appreciative of that.
Well, there's not a lot of footage out there about Hata, but from what kind of just going off of history, he's from Namibia. Africa's known to have punchers by default. He
Definitely.
won his regional title out in Africa, so he's undefeated. So, what do you know, and what can you expect the type of fight that you'll get?
Yeah, man. I've noticed his record, so and I've seen a few clips of him, so I got a little bit. I got to see a little bit of his style, and yeah, man. He has a was he 14-0 and 9 knockouts and undefeated type of mentality. Like it's a type of approach that a guy brings when they're undefeated. Like they don't want to ever experience a loss, and that tenacity is that they bring is going to be real different. So I expect him to bring that. He has a good use of good usage of his jab. He implements the shoulder roll a little bit as well. He has some shades to his game to show like why he's been as dominant as he is. But I've seen a lot in my years of boxing, and I definitely have more than one remedy to be able to take care of Matias Hata and show why I am the best featherweight in the world.
The last fighter I think I can remember that came from Namibia was Ndongo, who later captured and became a unified champion, and later, fell short against Terrence Crawford, right? So,
Mhm.
potentially this guy could be a hidden gem. Do you think that by all means you'll get the credit? Because obviously the name is not there, but do you feel like by just boxing standards, this is going to be an opponent where you should get a lot of credit, regardless of the fight fans don't really know his?
Nakatia, I think as well too from Namibia. I think he's from Namibia, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, no, I feel like I should, get my credit for the fight, but I know that it's not gonna happen. Because Matias Hata, he's not. that known. But that's the funny thing about boxing, man. It's like when a guy that's unknown, they get beat by, a guy, the A side fighter, it just seems like, oh, it's just another guy that was just a step up or whatever. They don't really realize that these people are, you know, highly leveled, type of fighters, man. And these guys are probably like a fight or two away from getting a title, a world title on their own. And I'm gonna bring it to like, to this respect perspective. If Robeisy Ramirez had beaten Espinoza in that first fight, nobody would be on Espinoza the way they are now. It's because he beat Robeisy to where it's like, oh, Espinoza is the guy. He's this, he's that. But if he never beat Robeisy Ramirez, they would not be talking about him like that because he was unknown before then too. And some little something I want to kind of want to get off my chest. People they always these champions want to say, oh, Shushu didn't fight this guy, Shushu didn't fight that guy to deserve this shot. Who did Espinoza fight to get that opportunity to fight you know, Robeisy Ramirez? He got up in the rankings and he got a shot. I'm actually curious to see what his ranking was because I can't remember what his ranking was at the time when he fought Robeisy, but bro, I'm curious to see what it was. And my case in point is the fact that he got a shot, no matter who he fought. He beat everybody who was in front of him, and he got his opportunity. Why can't I get mine? But I feel like we're in the right steps going into this WBC interim title shot, and slowly but surely it's gonna happen.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I agree. And so, I know if everything works out, we get the interim title. Obviously, Fulton moves up, fights Foster. It hasn't been publicly announced, but it seems like that's what's going to happen. So,
Yeah.
if the unification fights doesn't happen, I know that, you have a lot of Japanese fans, and there's a lot of Japanese fighters in your division. I'm not looking past your opponent, but
Mhm.
would you be open to fight other Japanese fighters like, Fujita or Kameda, I think who
Mhm.
fought on the Inoue undercard,
Mhm.
or even maybe I know Junto Nakatani, Inoue's talking, but I mean
Yeah.
if that doesn't work, like, and it's not Inoue, would it be Junto? Because
Mhm.
you got a lot of Japanese fans. I think there's that boxing and boxing Twitter page that heavily pumps you out. So would those type of options be there with your division stacked with top Japanese fighters?
I'm 100% as long as they have interest in coming to my weight class or they are already in my weight class. 100%. Like I'm open to fight. All of these guys. I definitely see the push out there from the Japanese supporters. I appreciate that. They're showing a lot of love. I just think that they just really appreciate real fighters and real fighters in terms of like just wanting to fight anybody and everybody that's just in their way. I'm true to the core when it comes to that, and I just want to just continue to just keep, satisfying us for fans. But yeah, I'm 100% open to fighting, any type of Japanese competitor.
I know, Angelo Leo went over there and defended his title, and then Brian Norman went and
Yeah,
defended his title.
yeah.
And what was your thoughts on that knockout that went
Man,
down?
that was nasty. It was nasty. The crazy thing is, I saw his opponent actually coming into my gym and train and sparring. Some, was it like a couple months ago? Yeah, he was showing how explosive he was and whatnot. But you just see the maturity in Brian Norman. You saw it early on in the first round. Granted, like probably like the first 30 seconds, he dropped dude. But I think that even as the rounds went on, and dude would catch Brian Norman with some good shots, but Brian Norman just kept his composure and showed the professionalism, again, the maturity, and got him up out of there. That was a great show with Brian Norman, and now he's got a lot of buzz behind him in the 147 division. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I think they're saying Devin might fight him.
Yeah, yeah, that'll be an interesting fight. That'll be an interesting fight. Yeah, I would say that stylistically, it'll be interesting because Devin would really have to use his boxing ability to stay away from Brian. But Brian, he's not like just a brawler. Like he's shown that he has some IQ behind his approach, and it'll definitely be a tough test for Devin for sure.
Yeah. I think Top Rank needs to get, maybe later on get you in Japan. It seems like that's the thing in boxing to do. So
It'll happen. I think it'll happen. I feel like it's gonna happen real soon, probably.
awesome. This is my last couple questions in regards if two guys were to face each other to get to Shushu, right? Let's say that
Mm.
they fought and then you capture a couple of titles. Is it Inoue or Nakatani? Because it just seems like with those two, if they face each other, right, which one seems to be the more enticing fight? Like, because and who do you think wins in that setting?
Okay. Well, the more enticing fight is the Inoue fight. I would think just because of the resume that he has and the attraction that he brings with him, and so I think that right, that's I have more interest in that fight. But the Nakatani fight for sure, if he's interested to come to 126, he has the size for it. Me and him about the same height. I'm really down for that fight as well too. I love his style. He fights with a lot of confidence, good range with his punches as well too. But I think he'll really meet his match when it comes to fighters in the 126 division. So I'm really open to that fight as well.
Do you think because we talked a little bit about how Inues was open to those counter hooks? Is
Yeah,
that counter hook there? I mean, I'm just trying to picture like, are we gonna get Nakatani or are we gonna get because they're gonna probably face each other. So do you
yeah.
think it'll be Nakatani versus Shushu or is it gonna be Inoue versus Shushu? Because it
I
seems.
genuinely, if I'm being honest, I think the Nakatani fight is more of a possibility, just because in a way, like he's talked about staying at 122 a
Mhm.
little longer, and saying that as long as he can continue to make that weight comfortably, he's going to stay there. Like he's not showing interest in moving up to 126 after that last fight. There's no flirting going on with 126. The conversations as much anymore. Like before, I used to see him come to my fight, and he in talks with Nick Ball and whatnot. You're starting to like see that kind of quiet down a little bit, and they're kind of like pulling things back. So yeah, and I think I also heard that there was a video of his dad saying that if he was to move up and fight a particular fighter, I can't remember who it was, that you know he would want Inoue to box more, but he knows Inoue is not going to do that because Inoue just likes to fight, and then that will bring him trouble. So being that he can't, adapt and not fight the way he just loves to fight, they're not going to move up and fight this particular person.
Mhm.
So yeah, yeah, I feel like the Junto Nakatani fight would definitely happen, especially because Junto is younger. He has more time on his hands, and yeah, man, I think that he'll fill out pretty well in the 126.
I know it's funny how you're linked to now maybe two Japanese fighters, right? Two
Yeah,
powerful probably
right.
just if you can't get this one, you get this one, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
but can I just start to ask how does that fight look like with Shushu and Nakatani? Because it's a completely different fight than the Inoue fight, right?
Yeah, definitely. The approach will be different for sure. Um, but I genuinely just believe that, my IQ, my speed, and my power, and just my tenacity alone would be a little bit much for Junto. I like his maturity in the ring, though. I like how he composes himself, and his activity of punches as well too. But it's certain things that he do that will just fall right into play for me. And yeah, that'll be a very interesting fight though. But action packed for sure. But I don't see me losing that fight at all, like not one bit.
Awesome. My last set of questions is I know you're a ring ambassador.
Yeah,
Turkey's looking to get some names underneath that Canelo Crawford undercard.
sure.
Would you think that he'll be able to maybe link, if not that card, like I know there's a working relationship. Is there some sort of push that Turkey is trying to get you? I know we spoke on the Ray Vargas attempt, but
Mhm.
he was trying to help. But is that kind of what is working in the motions that he's going to help you trying to get some of these big fights?
Oh, definitely. That's one of the main things that you know, we're like my team has like talked about just getting on big cards and whether if it's from Turkey or just anyone notable, just getting on these big cards, man. Um, I am really interested to see if I would probably get on that Canelo Crawford card. That would be dope. But as of right now, there hasn't been conversations of that though.
Okay. Did you like the push? Did it
Yeah,
the
yeah, definitely. Definitely, 100%.
awesome. Well, look, I'm looking forward to your fight. It's going to be one of those fights where I think a lot of fight fans have to tune in because at the end of the day, we've seen a lot of upsets in the year in the boxing. Not saying that'll happen in your fight, but you made a
Mhm.
great case that you never know what these opponents bring, and in the case of, if it's something that's going to happen after your fight, or maybe he'll put up a great fight.
Right.
Regardless, it's definitely going to be for the WBC interim title, which is
Yes.
clearly worthy of him getting there. And obviously, you've been highly ranked. So, what can you tell the fight fans that'll be tuning in on, potentially, I don't know what the top rank cards would be, but this might be historic on,
Yeah.
fighting on ESPN maybe for a while for top rank.
Man, listen, forget all that noise. Y'all tune in just because it's the Shoo Shoo Show. It's the Don't Miss TV. You know what I mean? Shoo Shoo Show. Tune in because you never know, baby. Don't blink. That's why you should tune in.
Awesome. And I know I said that I should look, but what is this TV guy that you're reality TV guy that you're training
Uh,
sparring? I totally forgot to
you
ask
talking
you
about
about him.
Aaron the plumber?
Yeah,
Yeah, Aaron. Yeah, no, yeah, man. He's been getting ready for his own fight coming up in August 2nd on the Misfits boxing thing, with KSI and whatnot. He's fighting and getting ready for that. And he's been in the gym with me. We've been, doing a lot of hard work together. And yeah, we just decided to make a little skit, a little video. And no, we haven't just having fun with it, but he is a natural talent though, I will say. He's naturally talented. He's not scared to get in there and throw some blows, and he's not scared to get hit as well. I think by the time August 2nd comes, he's gonna be more than ready for the dude he's gonna have to fight.